Hello and welcome. This is Africa in 10 minutes, where we bring to you trending business news from around the continent this week, courtesy Footprint to Africa. I'm Mike Mesikeno. It's great to have you on the show. Let's take a look at the highlights for this week. Ride-hailing service in Uganda hopes to expand across Africa. Mali okays Randgold's plan to replace mining with sustainable agribusiness. South Africa's Sanlam secures $1 billion deal for Morocco's Saham. Tullow commits 200 BCF foundation gas to support power generation in Ghana. New South Atlantic cable system will create opportunities. And now the news in detail. Safe Border, a ride-hailing app for motorcycle taxis which is transforming public transport in Uganda, hopes to expand to at least 20 other countries. The company, which was founded in 2015 by a former motorcycle taxi driver and two European economists, has 6,000 riders in its network operating in the country's capital, Kampala. Safe Border is backed by social enterprise investors including British-based Global Innovative Fund. The company's co-founder, Ricky Thompson-Rapper, told writers that we plan to grow and cover at least 20 African cities and be able to make sure that people can commute safely. Quite a lot of capitals across the continent have a huge working population but are plagued with poor roads and lack of modern transportation. This signifies an opportunity for Safe Border in other African countries. Safe Border launched its service in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, a city of about 4 million people in June 2018. Randgold Resources Morila Gold Mines plan to replace mining activities with an ambitious agribusiness project has been ratified by Mali's government. According to the miner, the project is designed to replace mining with a sustainable economic activity in the local community after the operation's closure in 2 years' time. Randgold's Chief Executive Officer Mark Bristow, speaking at a ceremony held at Morila on Monday, which had Mali Prime Minister Somelu Bubeye Maiga in attendance, said the project will support the government's drive to alleviate poverty by promoting the agricultural sector. 80% of Mali's population relies on agriculture, which accounts for 45% of the country's gross domestic product. It is estimated that as much as 50% of agricultural produce has been wasted by the lack of processing industries. After receiving regulatory approvals, Sanlam, South Africa's biggest insurer, has sealed a $1.1 billion deal to acquire the remaining 53.37% stake in Moroccan insurance firm Saham Finances. The company is currently Sanlam's biggest acquisition and will expand its presence across North Africa, Middle East, East Africa, and West Africa. Sanlam's acquisition of the remaining shares of Saham Finances brings its total investment in the company to almost $1.7 billion. CEO of Sanlam's emerging markets, Junior Ngulube, noted that the African presence of a combined group is unparalleled in the industry. With expertise across life, general and specialist insurance, and investment management in Africa, we now have significant opportunities for cross-selling and diversification. Tullow Ghana Limited has pledged its commitment to providing 200 BCF foundation gas to Ghana Gas to support power generation. It currently supplies about 25% of gas needed to generate power in the country, which has gone a long way to minimize power outages. Cynthia Lumo, the Director of External Affairs TGL, made this known during a media encounter dubbed The Journey So Far from Exploration to Production. She said TGL was committed to accelerating Ghana's socio-economic development, noting that it had, over the past 12 years, invested $15.6 billion in the economy. Ms. Lumo said $2.5 billion was invested in exploration and appraisal, while $13.1 billion was spent on development and production. The company's Jubilee and TEN oil fields alone, she noted, contributed 6% of Ghana's gross domestic product and had awarded contracts worth $15.1 billion to both local and international firms. A new internet cable network known as the South Atlantic Cable System is now on stream and open for commercial traffic, Angola Cables, a telecommunications multinational firm, has said. SACS, a digital information highway, is the first and fastest link between Africa and the Americas with the lowest latency and will provide a more direct routing for internet traffic in the southern hemisphere. SACS, which is owned by Angola Cables, was manufactured and powered by the NEC Corporation, a Japanese multinational provider of information technology services. It is one of the most advanced submarine telecommunication systems to go into commercial operation connecting Angola and Brazil. Following the cable's completion, data transfer speeds will be greatly improved, becoming 5 times faster than existing cable routings, reducing latency from Fortaleza to Luanda. Luanda will also connect to London and Miami with approximately 128 milliseconds latency. These two major content hubs will position Angola as a strategic point to serve the transatlantic region with low latency and resilient connections. On that note, we draw the curtains on this week's episode of Africa in 10 minutes. Let's take a recap of the stories. Ride-hailing service in Uganda hopes to expand across Africa. Mali OK's Randgold's plan to replace mining with sustainable agribusiness. South Africa's Sanlam secures $1 billion deal for Morocco's Saham. Tullow commits 200 BCF foundation gas to support power generation in Ghana. The new South Atlantic cable system will create opportunities. You can send in questions, make comments, and keep up with the news on our various social media channels. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, connect with us on LinkedIn, and follow us on Twitter. Visit www.footprint2africa where these stories were called from. Footprint to Africa, business news made in Africa, by Africans, for Africa.